call you soon. I'm in a podcast.
Ready to get inspired. This is the Go for the Goldie podcast.
Hello. It's Friday, July 31st, and we have some pretty special guests on today. The two-time Can Jam world champions, AJ Cybulski and Charles Rizzo. Gentlemen, how are you today? How is my lovely city of Buffalo, New York?
It's great. Yeah, it's going good in Buffalo, man.
Man, when I saw you guys come on the podcast and I saw that Buffalo Bills logo in the background, it brought a tear to my eye. You know, it's I miss it. I think there's going to be a season this year.
Hopefully, I want one. I think we all do.
You know, it's going to be it's just like, wouldn't that be something if we finally win the damn Super Bowl and there's no fans, or
I know,
or the season gets canceled halfway through and they're 8-0 or something like that.
Yeah, probably would happen to us.
Probably, you know, it's we should be 24 teams make the playoffs in hockey this year, and the Sabres are, on the outside looking in somehow. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the first team out.
It's unbelievable, and living in Dallas, I get it from all angles from the Stars fans down here. So it's rough, but that just makes us tougher. It's going to be that much sweeter to rub it in their faces when we finally win, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I guess we'll get started here. My first question that I have for you guys is, what do you think the Bills' record is going to be this year?
There you go. Yeah, go ahead. I said 10-6.
10-6. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're going to be better than last year, but our schedule is tougher, so I'm just going to stick with the same record, 10-6.
10-6 usually gets you in the playoffs, so I'll take that. Charles?
I think that'll win the division for sure.
Hopefully. That'd be great. Beat the damn Patriots. Charles, what do you got?
I also had the Bills at 10-6. Like AJ said, I mean, it's a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. So
that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. It's you guys are teammates. You're tight. Same thought process. So
Yeah. Right.
No, but seriously. So let's start talking about here the Can Jam. So first of all, like I told you guys, I've never met you guys. This is the first time that we're actually talking in person.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming on a Friday night. I know there's a million other places that you could be right now, especially being, Can Jam world champions. I'm sure you're beating off the ladies. But, the bar's open until 4 in Buffalo, so you got time.
Yeah.
But I guess the first thing I want to kind of go over is what Can Jam actually is. A lot of people don't know what it is. And me being from Buffalo and seeing the growth of it, I mean, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 34, so I remember when it started, and I remember, just getting hooked on it, and, we bring it to different parts of the country, and people are like, what is that? So, I'll let you guys, because you're the professionals, explain, to the people that don't know what Can Jam is, just kind of like a high-level overview of exactly what the sport is, the objective, kind of a quick run-through of it.
Can Jam is a game with you got 2 cans or goals, and you have a frisbee. The cans are spaced out 50 feet apart, and you and your partner each get a throw. It's a point system, and the game goes to 21 points. Also, if you see a Can Jam set, the front of the can actually has a slot in it, and if you can make it in the slot, it's game over, as well as if you throw it directly in the top. You want to go over the point system?
Yeah, sure. So basically, it's 2 teams. You got to hit 21 exactly, so you can't go over. The goal really is to put it in the can, which is 3 points. So your partner throws it to you, you deflect it into the top of the can. So that's 3 points. That's the goal, because if you get 7 times 3 is 21, quick math, you win the game, or at least have a good chance at it. We get the question a lot, do you guys slot a lot? And we're like, no, it's all just threes, because it's too hard to slot from 50 feet. Once in a while, I'll throw one in there, or he will, but it's very rare.
I'll never forget. When I was in, man, I must have been, it was a while ago. But anyways, it was at a Bills tailgate, and the other team ended it, but we got final throws, and I slotted it, and that was probably one of the best feelings of my life. Like that is a highlight of. I'll never forget that exact moment when I did that. So. When you slot it, you feel pretty sweet, right? Even though you're not going for it sometimes, it goes in.
Yes.
I'm the man.
Yeah. That's how they mostly go in, is when you don't even expect to throw it and it just goes in the can. That's in the slot.
That's divine intervention right there, right?
Yeah.
That means they want you to win. So what I was, so I think that was a perfect description of what the game is. So if you haven't seen it, you can. I'm gonna after the show put some links in there to some of the leagues that we're going to be talking about and championships and just the general website itself, just so people, if they want to get into it, they can kind of check it out, see what it is, see some highlights and stuff like that. And I'm sure you guys have footage of you playing, so once this is over, you can shoot that over to me and I'll put that in the show notes so people can watch that. So I guess before we actually get into the sport, I don't really know anything about either of you guys. So how did you guys meet? Did you meet through Can Jam? Are you friends that started playing Can Jam together? How did this all come about?
Yeah. We're cousins, actually.
Come on. Awesome.
Yeah. So we're like, what, third cousin? Yeah, we're third cousins, and we just kind of, I don't know, we just started playing, and the first couple of years, we didn't really know what we were doing, but once we watched like other guys play, we kind of got the concept of how to actually play Can Jam. And once we got that under our sleeve, we took off, basically.
You're probably at like backyard barbecues, just slinging the Can Jam around. You're like, shit, let's go professional in this. Let's go.
Yeah, but that's basically it.
It was just funny. Like we just started playing a backyard game, and like we were young. I mean, when our first ever world championship, I was 11 years old. AJ was 10. So like, it was crazy. We fell in love with it. And I mean, like I said, we're cousins, and we live less than 10 minutes away from each other. So over the summer as kids, like we'd had off school, and I'd come over here every day, and we'd just throw for hours upon hours.
So you just breezed over something that's pretty ridiculous that you just said. You said you were at a championship when you were 10?
Yeah, I was 11 and AJ was 10 years old.
That is, and how old are you guys now?
I'm 19.
And I am 20.
Okay. So you've been doing this for quite some time now.
Yeah. And the first year we didn't even touch the playoffs. We just got eliminated right away. Like, we were like, yeah, we'll come back next year. And then we just kept getting better and better every year.
That's crazy.
And then we had a chance in 2013 to win it, to be the youngest kids ever, but we lost in the finals.
No shame in that. No shame in that. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And then we won 2017 and 2019. So yeah, we've been doing it for quite a while now.
So what, you were like 17, 18 when you won the second time?
Yeah. The second time I was 19, he was 18, and then the first time I was 17, he was 16.
That's crazy. That's awesome. So you got, a bright future ahead of you, right? I mean, you're going to be doing this forever.
We got 30 more years of pride in us.
It is so cool. So you mentioned earlier, AJ, when you said, people ask you all the time, are you going for slots? I can only imagine how many people you have to deal with that are like, Can Jam's not a sport. I could beat you. Like, like dopes like me who are like, hey, the tailgate was, I slotted it. How often do you get that where people kind of try to discredit what you've done? When they say it's just a yard game, you're just winning because you're in it. How often do you get that kind of stuff?
It's quite a bit, especially being our age and like kind of like, I'm hanging out with a bunch of people, and like people do now that I've won it twice. I think it's a little more respectable, but it's still like I get some, chitter chatter that, it's not really a world championship, blah, blah, blah. But like it is, like it really is. So
yeah, that's got to be annoying. I looked at how I found you guys was I just went to like Can Jam national events, and I wanted to get Can Jam champions on here because being from Buffalo, and I know how big the sport is there. I mean, you can't go to the beach or the park or anywhere. Delaware Park, people are playing it. Any party you go to, people are playing it. Tailgates, all that. So I kind of wanted to expose it. And then I went to the website. and saw you guys. And when I was making the banner for this show, um, AJ corrected me. He goes 2017, and I was like, "Oh, I thought I saw 2019." He's like, "No, no, no, it's 2017 and 2019." And I'm like, "Oh, damn. Okay, I'm dealing with some legit people here. Cool."
Yeah.
So what's let me ask you this before we get into the whole, Can Jam world. Um, growing up, I mean, shit, you're still growing up.
Yeah.
When you were kids, or still now, I mean, I see the Brockport shirt on you. Do you play any other sports? Did you grow up playing, hockey, football, any of the traditional, team sports, track, anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up playing football, lacrosse, and wrestling, and so I mean, I was big into wrestling, and that was my whole thing. Then I got to high school, I was the quarterback of the football team, and so
Nice. Okay, so you've been playing sports your whole life, and AJ, how about you?
I played soccer, basketball, and then a year of volleyball my senior year. It was fun.
Nice.
Definitely. But I do. Even though I never played football, football is definitely my favorite sport to watch for sure.
Mm-hmm. I don't. I obviously you don't know, but I actually played when there was an indoor professional team at Buffalo. I played for the Buffalo Lightning. So football is a big part of my life too. And that's actually, I don't know how much of the story you know, and people have heard it, but as I was playing football, into my late 20s, I was like, I can't do this anymore, but I like competing. And you'll see where I'm getting at in a second here. But towards the end of my football career, I was like, I can't be doing this anymore, but I still want to compete in something. And I stumbled onto triathlon and just put, all my effort into that. So the point of this whole podcast is, getting to know athletes like you that play maybe not the most mainstream traditional type sports, but still it's a very highly competitive thing. And my goal is to expose that to other people because you guys obviously are competitive. You played sports your whole life. So is that what drew you to Can Jam, or like what specifically really stood out with Can Jam where you're like, I'm going to abandon these traditional sports that I've been playing and I really want to go, all in on this?
I wouldn't really say I abandoned my other sports because the hard thing with Can Jam is it's basically like an outdoor game. So my once the world championship comes once a year, we practice all summer. But then once it's done, we take a break for a while, and then so we're not really abandoning them, but basketball and soccer, I basically just played all fall and winter, and I didn't really focus on Can Jam. But once spring rolls back around, then we start picking it back up. But yeah, it's not really nothing really. I mean, obviously it drew to me because when I went to my first tournament and I saw how good everyone was, and I'm like, I thought we were good, but we weren't obviously at the time. So I was like, I want to just keep doing this and be one of those really good teams eventually. So
that's awesome, and that right there, what you just said. I think there are so many people out there that have a passion for competing, but just don't know how to kind of channel it. You know what I mean? And that's the whole point of these conversations is I want someone sitting at home right now going, wait a minute, look at this sport. This is pretty cool. Wait a minute. There's a national tournament. I can be champions in this, and then kind of spark that fire, So I talk to all different people, and I think this is a really unique opportunity for people because, like you said, there's off seasons. It's not like, with triathlon, right? Tomorrow I got a 5-hour bike ride. It's like it chews up your life. You know what I mean? You gotta. But with Can Jam, it's like you can be really, really good at it, but it's not something that's going to overtake your life. So if you're someone who has a busy schedule, has a family maybe, or a really intense job that you're working 40 plus hours a week, you still have the ability to get that in, right? I mean, it's competing with Can Jam sounds like you have the ability to really have a great work-life balance, while still managing the high competitiveness of Can Jam. Is that right? Or
absolutely. And don't get me wrong, we're both very competitive. So
yeah, well, you don't become a national champion in anything without having a little competitive streak in you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually just got into the Michael Jordan, what's it, The Last Dance. I've been watching that, and holy cow, it is so cool to see that competitive, streak in him. It fires you up. Have you guys seen that yet?
I've watched it.
Yeah, that makes me.
He's a different breed.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. So who is there? Are you like the Michael Jordans of Can Jam, or is there like
No.
someone else that who are the big names in the sport, or are there big names in the sport? Do you see the same people when you go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to work our way up to be that, but no, as of right now, I mean, the Michael Jordan of Can Jam, as everyone says, is Eric Clavoon, and I'm actually going to give Eric a shout out here because he does everything for the game. He sets up all the tournaments. He does a great job. He actually works for Can Jam, so
cool.
He does a great job. But Eric's actually an 8-time Can Jam world champion.
8 times.
So,
Holy cow!
Eric's been around and he's had many titles.
So if you're an 8-time Can Jam champion, has he had the same? So when you say Eric's the man, right? Like I just said, who's the guy, and you said Eric. So
yep.
Does he have a specific partner? Or is he that good that he just kind of elevates anyone that he plays with? Has he had the same partner for those 8 championships?
No, actually he had 3 with his first partner. And then he actually played with his brother.
They were really good.
And they were really good. They had a three-peat. They won 3 in a row.
Wow.
And then now he's with John Sandino, and John Sandino and him have won 2 together.
He hasn't won. Eric hasn't won since what? 2015.
2015.
So
he's been in 2 of the last.
He's been 2 in the last 3 finals. We knocked them off last year, and then the Madison brothers, who are a team like us, are like younger, and they're incredible. They're so good. They knocked them off last year. So
that's awesome. Congrats on knocking them off. You're not going to be like the Utah Jazz to that MJ, right? You're going to stand up for yourself. So I did see when I went on the website and I was looking for you guys, and I may have read it wrong or I may be remembering it wrong. I told you I was a football player, so my head's applesauce. But I thought I read that you may have been the first team to go 21-0. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
In the regular season every year, like every year we've been telling ourselves like we want to be the first team to do this. Like that'll just add to like our championships, and it'll get us another like a first per se. So last year we did it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So last year we went 21-0, and it felt so good to find, because every year we go like 22-1. We'd have like a slip up game and like lose, or 23-1. And last year was finally the year where we just cruised through, and we had our stressful games, obviously, because there's a lot of great teams, but we went 21-0. So first team ever to go that in the regular season.
That's incredible. And when I read that, I double took. I'm like, wait, what? Like you would think just by like just a win comes or something. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that can go wrong. To be that consistent in a tournament is insane, or a season. But so that popped off when I saw that. So congratulations on that. I mean,
thank you.
If you're just in a backyard playing against someone who's never thrown a frisbee before, it's hard enough to win 21 games in a row, let alone at a tournament where professional, not the highest people in the sport are playing and come together to do it. So that's incredible. But so I guess another question I have for you, now that you kind of went into it a little bit, is you mentioned a season. So I was operating under the assumption, and when they say don't assume makes an ass out of you and me, I mean, I had no basis for assuming this, but I just thought you sign up, you go to a tournament, and boom, you're in. But it sounds like there's a season, or what's the whole format? Like, what's the layout look like?
Well, so when you get there, it is all in one tournament.
Okay.
So it's every year. It's the second Saturday of August.
Except this year. Yeah. Sadly, got canceled. It was actually supposed to be in Virginia this year, and it got canceled, sadly. But,
where is it usually? Is it usually in like Buffalo-ish area?
North Tonawanda.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Because that's where it was invented, right?
Yes, sir.
Got it.
So anyways, you get there, and there's normally around 100 teams. They split it into 4 divisions. It's all random draw, 4 divisions. So then they say the regular season is the first part of the Can Jam day. So you play, it's a round robin in your own division. So you play all 23 other teams, or 24, whatever it is, in your division.
Okay.
So then based on your record inside of your division, there's seeding. So then the top 12 make the playoffs. And then the top 4 get a first round bye. So
you go 5-12, 5-12, 6-11. Then you play. That's like best of 5, and then it's all best of 7 from there, and best of 7 all the way through to the World Championship.
Wow. So, okay. So when you say 100 teams are typically in it, have you pre-qualified to enter this, or is it the first 100 teams that sign up, or how do they determine the teams that are in it?
Yeah, as of now, we're working on that, but as of now, it's just if you sign up to play, you're in.
Got it. That's insane, though. No, go ahead.
There's like 25 to 30, 25 to 30 teams that are there every year and are good. Yeah, they know what they're doing. So
that's like the core.
There's a core, and then but there's also guys that come from absolutely nowhere and they're just super good, and you're like, okay, awesome, we want this,
So you have the you got the Michael Jordans that the regular faces that you're seeing, but you're also getting new blood as the sport obviously is growing and gaining influence.
Oh yeah.
And people, I mean, obviously after this podcast, you're going to have millions of people at your next tournament. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool though. So, I mean, we were talking about earlier too. I think it was you, AJ, when I asked, do people always say, kind of brush it off like Can Jam World Champions? That's nothing. To consistently win tournaments when there's 100 teams there, and the work that you have to put in a day to, win series and everything, that's incredible. I mean, I didn't know all this, and that's really impressive that, you can be as consistent as you guys are. So that's cool. So I know you mentioned Eric, right? The Michael Jordan guy. We'll just call him Michael Jordan from now on. But he, you said he won 8. Now, is that the most championships that anyone's ever won? Is that the thing that you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you keep track of that. You wanna. So you're shooting for 8 or more. You wanna.
Right. We definitely. Yeah, we want to be the best.
So at a tournament, obviously there's probably a pretty heavy amount of people from Western New York, Southern Ontario, northwestern Pennsylvania, do people come from around I know it's a world championship. So, do you see people from around the country, around the world that, are big advocates of the game that come in and, come to the tournament?
Yeah, there's, so the last couple of years since the sport's definitely growing a little bit, I'd say there's been, the European world champion, there's a European Can Jam world champion or whatever, European championship in Europe. And the European team that wins comes over here to play in this tournament. So the last I think 2 or 3 years, the European team that wins comes over here and plays here. And then last year, I think we had at least 20 states represented from the U.S. just at that tournament, and Canada as well. So we got Canada, Czech Republic, and then 20 different states, I'd say.
So the Czech Republic was the most recent European winner that came over here?
Was it the Netherlands?
Yeah, Czech Republic was a couple years ago. Then the past 2 years has been teams from the Netherlands.
Wow, that's really cool.
So they show up in there. Yeah, it's cool.
Have you guys ever been to the Netherlands?
No.
We had my world championship for triathlon was there a couple years ago, and we were in the race was in Rotterdam. Then we went to Amsterdam and had some fun. So, man, if you want to go over there, kind of that'd be cool, right? If you kind of did the American champion goes over there and plays in the European tournament, right? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, I mentioned that a couple times. The winner of this one goes to Europe and plays there. That'd be cool.
That would be so cool. I mean, it's to even think that, you're from Buffalo. It's there's a little game in North Tonawanda that was developed as being played in tournaments across the world. That's really cool. And
we're getting there, especially with Eric. No, we're definitely trying to progress,
That's so cool. Shoot me, like I said, after this, just shoot me any links that you think would be applicable for someone who is just starting out in sport, who's going to want to, say, hey, I'm going to try this out. Maybe I'll buy it, and then let's see, we'll go from there. So shoot me the links, like I said. So you've been playing for 8-9 years now, right? You said you want to play another 30. Is there when you go to a tournament, is there old people? Is there old people like me? I'm 34. Are there old people that are 70? What ages are we? Is there a typical age range?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's like the Can Jam slogans. It's anyone's game, so anyone can play. I mean, there's guys, right? There's kids that play. There's been few younger kids, 10, 12 years old, and then there's guys that play that are in their 60s. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
Now, when
That's really for everyone.
Yeah.
when you mentioned the tournament being in Virginia this year, was there a specific reason that it was going to go to Virginia, or is that just
We're just
was it a random
trying
place?
to get it to grow.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be in Richmond, so I mean it's a big city. It was supposed to be a really cool time. Yeah, and like we were talking earlier about Eric, he works for Can Jam and he's expanding. So I mean he's trying to get it out there, so, like kind of like what you're doing. How not many people know it down south, not many people know about it. He's trying to get it so that people down there know about it, and we're expanding and having.
Nice.
We're
nice.
trying to get more people join the sport. So.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, that was June. But anyways, I borrowed we did an Airbnb for my fiance's birthday, and it was big lake house right on the lake, and there's a bunch of room between the house and the lake, and obviously the guy from Buffalo is bringing the Can Jam set, and I mean my friends were obsessed with it. Like we couldn't peel them away from it, and I know Claire and Sheila are listening to this, and so sorry we beat you, but sorry not sorry, right? But no, they were. She's from Chicago, that family, and their sisters, and they were like, "This is freaking awesome!" And I just think when people see it, I think people immediately put themselves in that. I can do that, all right. That looks easy. That looks easy. So when it kind of leads me to the next question too. Like you were saying, I think it was AJ. You were saying about the scoring. It's 3 points. Play to 21. Can't go over. So aside from your first throw going in the slot or on top, a perfect game would be just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom, 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 boom. Right.
Yeah.
So how often does that happen? Is that something that's like you're expected to do?
Yeah. So and I got to mention the other points. If you hit the can directly with the frisbee, it's 2, and then if you throw it to your partner, he deflects it and hits the side of the can, it's 1. So that's the other two like point systems they got.
Yeah, that's when I'm playing, it's a lot of me running around with a beer in one hand and diving and making ridiculous attempts to try to get 1 point. So
that's how it is for most.
So to go back to that question, so 7 3-pointers gets you 21. How often are there perfect games? Is that something that's expected of you? And if you get a 2-bagger or a 1-bagger, you're like, oh, or how kind of what's the feeling on that?
Yeah, basically, like we want every game. Our mindset is to throw 7 threes and get it. Like that's it. Like that's all the top teams. Their mindset's just 7 threes, and even players now are even like there's a strategy if because you get 2 throws, so you get 8 throws. So say you miss one of those throws that's like not tippable that you can't like put in the top, you can catch it and you can still be okay and throw like what they call a backdoor perfect game, which is you still get the 21 in your 8 throws instead of 7, but it still takes the same amount of turns, if you know what I'm saying. Got it.
So what about a situation where, so say it's, me and, Joe Blow playing against you guys, and how do you determine who goes first?
At the beginning of a game, you flip the frisbee, heads or tails, obviously, and whoever wins the toss normally chooses the hammer, which is second throw. So basically, you get the last shot. So you got to match them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like we mentioned earlier, the Madison brothers, they're one of the top teams. They like to take first. They like to set the tempo. So, I mean. Whoever wins the toss gets to choose if you want second or first throw. Most, like I said, most take second. But
so it's like football, right? Where you defer the kickoff. You're going to get the ball in the second half. But some people like to take the ball and just instill their will.
Go for it.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, just give me the ball and I'll go for it.
Or Josh Allen. Okay, so that's cool. So then, as far as do you guys keep track of how many perfect games you've had? Is that something you keep track of?
We try to. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, when we're in the tournament mindset, we're kind of just dialed in, focused. We're expecting perfect games at that point. You know what I mean? So it's just we're doing our best to stay on track. And
so when you get to like you said, it's you can do it in 7 if it's a perfect game. But if you do a backdoor perfect game, that's 8 throws. But either way, say. So going back to that, me and Joe Blow playing you guys, we go back and forth, and we both have perfect games. Then what? Was it sudden death overtime, or how does that work?
Yeah. So you say you both throw perfect games. It's happened. There's an indoor tournament in the spring. This year it's going to be in the fall, I think, because of COVID. So they delayed it. They pushed it back. But it's called the Can Jam Classic. It's in an indoor complex like in North Tonawanda. And basically there, it's just perfect game. I mean, I remember me and Charles, our first year there, we actually won the tournament. We played this team, Scott Silverman and Bobo, who are two guys that are, in the bubble. And, I mean, they were throwing great, but we played like 7 overtimes, just back and forth, just threes.
Holy cow.
Because it's indoor, so you got no wind or no outside factors. It's just the Frisbee, and you can just throw, great every time.
So what's overtime consist of?
Yeah, so overtime consists of you each get 1 throw.
Okay.
And that's it.
It'd be like a round. It'd be like another round.
Yeah.
So you each get 1 throw. Then so say me and AJ throw, we get 6, and then you and your partner throw, you get 6. Then we go again.
Gotcha. Kind of like beer pong sometimes, right? Depending on how you play beer pong.
Yeah.
But of course, you've never played because you're not 21.
No.
And
Obviously,
you play a lot of water pong. I understand.
Water pong. There you go.
Just want to make it clear.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, I guess the other aspect I always like to learn about athletes who perform at really high levels, like you guys do with your sport. What's a typical outside of Can Jam? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? Obviously, I don't know. Are you in school? I see the Brockport shirt. Kind of give the people listening, the other side of the story. Aside from Can Jam, what do you guys like to do?
I mean, I work a lot. I'm actually a plumber, so I do a lot of work. Then in my free time, I do a lot of fishing. I'm a big fisherman. I love hunting. I'm real big outdoors, so anything with sports or outdoors, hunting, fishing, all that stuff, I love it. So
very cool. AJ, how about you?
I just enjoy hanging with my friends. I go to college of Brockport. I'm studying sports management with a minor in public relations. So I got my own podcast, actually. I haven't been on it as much, but I do a Bills podcast, which I really enjoy doing. I'm a huge Bills fan. I eventually want to work for like the Bills or something like that one day, so that'd be really cool.
AJ, can I give you something crazy that it's a coincidence that we're talking about this right now? So my path to where I am right now, I don't know if you know what I do for a living.
I do not.
I work for FC Dallas. I work in Major League Soccer. My degree is in sports management, but I kind of went out at it the exact reverse way. When I was in Buffalo, I worked in sales for 10 years. And I kind of hopped around job to job. And I'm like, I just can't stand, just being behind a desk. It's just every quarter, just rank it out. You know what I mean? It's numbers.
Yeah.
So I decided that, me and my fiance, I was like, I want to work in pro sports, but I don't even have a degree. All I have is sales experience. So I basically just, Teamwork Online. Have you seen that? It's a website where basically every pro sports team puts job postings. So
okay.
So every day, and when we were in Buffalo, I would tell my fiance, I'm like, all right, Omaha, Nebraska, Miami, Atlanta, Portland, Seattle, Minnesota, and she'd be like, no, yes, and like the places these she'd be willing to move to, I applied. So we came here with the intention. We were like, I'll get some, whoever wants to give us a shot, we'll go there for a couple years and move back and work for the Pagulas. I wanted to work for the Bills and the Sabres. And FC Dallas gave me a shot. We were actually at a Blue Jays game in Toronto when I got the email like, hey, we're going to hire you, because I had gone through a bunch of interviews and stuff. And our first time in Texas was actually in the U-Haul moving to Texas. We'd never visited here. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what we were getting into. And now I'm coming up on 2 years with FC Dallas, and I mean, we have no intentions of going back. It's awesome down here, but yeah. So use me as a connection, man. Whenever you need any advice or anything like that, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you out, especially, a champion. I know you're competitive, and yeah, I know you like sports. So yeah, any advice you ever need, don't hesitate to reach out, man. I love working in pro sports. It's amazing.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so that's basically, all I do. I play sports, watch sports, it's everything.
You guys gamers? You guys play any video games?
Yeah, I'm a huge gamer as well. I play 2K, Fortnite, a little bit of Call of Duty, some Chell, all the sports games with a little bit of Fortnite in there.
Nice. I mean, it's kind of like a rite of passage for kids your age, right? Like you got to play Fortnite if you're 20 years old, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I during this quarantine, I actually became a Twitch affiliate.
Okay.
And I don't even play.
I watch Twitch every day.
I don't even play any video games. I ride my bike on this app called Zwift, and it's a thing on Twitch. So I got an affiliate level, doing that. So it's kind of talk about a backdoor, perfect game. That's a backdoor way to get a Twitch affiliate, right?
Yeah, that is a backdoor. I go on Twitch every day, so I've never wanted to stream, but I love watching like the streamers, so it's super cool.
It's fun to watch. I watch a lot of the games and stuff that I have no idea what they're doing. There's this girl playing, was it Dark Souls 3? I was watching that, and I'm like, what the hell am I watching? It looked like Warcraft or something, and it was cool.
Yeah, I don't get those games. Yeah, I don't understand either.
I don't get it. It's cool. I like seeing people do things that they're really good at. It doesn't matter what that thing is. I just like watching people excel at high levels. So that's why.
Oh yeah.
When you say you go work on Twitch, and you're just following some people in some random game. I was watching a truck driver simulator. It's like the stupidest thing ever, but it was funny to watch because the guy was entertaining. So
yeah,
you find yourself going down some pretty weird dark rabbit holes on Twitch sometimes. I'm actually doing the same thing with interviewing people like you guys. I'm doing that with Twitch affiliates on that platform too. So
okay.
Kind of understanding, hey, how did you become a Twitch affiliate? Let's hear your story, So going back to, Can Jam, with you guys, like what's the long-term goals? Like, do you have something where you're, obviously you're in peak off-season form. I just saw you crush a pop right there. But what's like, do you have a roadmap where you're like, once things get back to normal, even now, like we're going to meet 2-3 times a week, or let's meet on Saturday mornings and crank out 2 hours of practice, or like, do you guys have anything like that, or is it just kind of as it comes, you go?
So like this week we thrown a lot. Like this week, I don't know. We just like we've been throwing a lot, trying to just like get some in before the weather turns to trash again.
Yeah. That's Buffalo.
So. But no, I really don't think for our long term. I don't really like look at that. I like for me personally, I just want it like year by year. It's not really like I don't want like 10. I don't want I want to like focus on 3 and then then focus on I don't want to get ahead of myself. That's how I am.
Okay.
So I definitely take it year by year, and then eventually, hopefully, if you just keep track year by year, eventually you'll get to that 10, 11 by the time we're who knows when, and that'd be the end goal, would be double digits for sure.
Very cool. So let's say I live in Montana, or I don't know, some random place. And say I'm listening to this and I'm like, I want to get into Can Jam. Are there tournaments across the country, or is that one tournament that you guys have won twice? Is that the only tournament in the country that you can go to, or how does that work? Are there regional stuff or regional tournaments and things like that?
I mean, the World Championships is the biggest for sure. I mean, there is, you could look them up. There's some smaller tournaments around the United States. I mean, nothing crazy. But if you go on Can Jam, it's Can Jam League, I'm pretty sure, canjamleague.com, you can actually start an actual Can Jam league. We have our own Buffalo League. We play Saturday nights in the winter. We play indoors Saturday nights. It's a good time. And I mean, anyone is able to start a league. But like I said before, I mean, across country, like on the East Coast, Can Jam's huge. But other than that, I mean, the country hasn't really found out about it yet. So it's definitely an East Coast thing to have big tournaments and stuff. But.
So say here in Dallas, say I'm like, say I wanted to start a league. Is there an official, are they like, not sanctioned may be the wrong word, but like, can I like file to be a part of, like, the example I'll use that you guys, I'm sure, like Bill's Mafia, right? Like if I want to start a Bill's Mafia chapter here in Dallas, there's two. They go through the official Buffalo Bills website, and then they like, so it's known. It's like a central database of all the things that are going on, Bills Mafia wise across the country. Is there like, I go to canjam.com, whatever the website is, and register a league through them, or how is there anything similar? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like canjamleague.com, you can actually register a league, and then you'll get all the updates from Can Jam League, all the like the notifications, and all the stuff that's going on in the Can Jam world. You'll get the notifications telling you, oh, the Can Jam Classic is in 2 weeks. Register now. Like you'll get all that kind of stuff. So
very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you said the East Coast is pretty big, and it's kind of slowly making its way, out here and beyond. What do you think's the biggest holdback? Is it like bad PR or just there's so many things going on that people don't really, it doesn't catch much attention? What do you think the major reason is that it hasn't caught on? Because when people watch it and see it, people get all jacked up about it.
Right. Well, in my opinion, I mean, I think the reason Can Jam hasn't really blown up is because, there was never really huge like advertisement. Like it's not on TV. Like that kind of stuff. But Like I said before, Eric's doing a great job. I mean, he's trying to work to get us on TV. He's expanding. He's doing everything he can to make the game big. So I'm all excited for it because Eric's awesome, and I know Eric will make it happen. So.
Well, with the it seems like with this whole situation that's happened, I mean, you saw the rise of the Ocho and a lot of these, not obscure, but like lesser known sports that people haven't really noticed. They're starting. I mean, freaking marble racing is on TV. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like it's to now, especially with the access of the internet and 24/7, accessibility to social media and exposure to so many different things. It seems like something like this would be the perfect opportunity to really take advantage of that. And honestly, like for my shows moving forward, I'm thinking about cornhole, darts, stuff like that, where you see this stuff on ESPN. I mean, I'm at the gym watching cornhole championships. It's like, why can't Can Jam be there? That's just as if not more compelling to watch. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's and another thing I want to add about like the not like getting word. Like I think like the people, I don't really think they cared about like really the competitive side. Like there wasn't really anyone in the Can Jam industry that cared about the competitive side of it. They just wanted to like party, like like just have like go to the beach and play, not really like a competitive side.
Mm-hmm.
But now like recently, since Eric's got there, since he's like into the competitive side and like the actual sport, not just like selling them just to like get the money and get it for the party or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely gonna hopefully expand.
I mean, you can, if you compete or you're a competitive person, I mean, you're gonna race to see who can get to the car first. Like you're gonna find anything that you can compete in. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it makes sense too. I mean, you kind of lay the groundwork, get people interested in it, get people buying the product, get it out there, and then you start the tournament. So I can see, why, but now I think it's just been out there long enough where I think you really have the opportunity to start, growing the sport. And I mean, does Can Jam, I obviously know Eric very well. Does Can Jam work with you guys in any way to like, because there's no professional Can Jam players, like an NBA player or something like that. So do they do stuff to help promote you guys, to say, hey, listen, these guys, the young guns, right? That's your team name.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, you two are young guns. Do they do anything to be like, hey, these are two of the rising stars in our sport. Before they're 21 years old, they've already won 2 championships. You know what I mean? Try to build a brand that way. Do they do anything like that with any of the athletes? Maybe even if it's not you, with other athletes like Eric?
No, they have. I've not. Canjam's never contacted me or Charles about anything like that.
Hey,
With
Can Jam, I'm looking at you. I'm looking right in the camera. Will you call them? Come on, clean it up.
Yeah, I mean, like the Can Jam inventors, they'll be at the tournament, the World Championship. They're always, I mean, they're normally at the tournaments, and they'll say like they'll acknowledge us, say hi, like say you guys are awesome, but like they don't go out of their way to reach out to us, and you know what I mean.
See, that seems crazy to me because, people love storylines and the idea of, having two cousins who played in their first tournament when they were 10 years old and, came close to being the youngest ones ever and then won two. I mean, that's a pretty freaking cool story. At least I think so. And I'm sure I wouldn't be alone. And, it's pretty compelling. That's cool. And then you got someone like Eric who's won it 8 times. I mean, to
Yeah.
win 8 times at anything, no matter what you're doing. That's hard as hell to do. When you have
Oh
100
yeah.
teams in a tournament, and it's not just it's like in hockey, it's not an accident these teams win. You got to beat that team 4 times to move on.
Right.
Those are difficult things to do. So that's typically what is like. How long does a game last for you guys? For me, I can tell you it's like 2 hours because I'm flinging the thing all over the place and it's going into bushes and the street.
A good. I mean, like a good competitive game. I mean, depending on overtime or not. I mean, if me and AJ throw perfect, say we're playing a average team, say we throw perfect, they don't match us. I mean, game could be over in 5 minutes.
And I mean,
But
we're
I mean,
talking like a straight perfect, not a backdoor perfect. I
right?
just,
Yeah, straight.
I'm part of the lingo now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in the community.
You're in the Can Jam fam.
Yeah, I'm in the hashtag Can Jam fam.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, 5 minutes could be a game, or we could have games that go into 5 overtimes, and it could be a 20-minute long game. So
What-
it's all based on matchups and.
So in a sport like this too, I could probably imagine that world championship. I mean, that's it, right? I mean, you win a regional tournament here or there. I'm sure that doesn't have the same zest, that winning a world championship is. So I want to hear, like, I know, on race day for me, like the national championship to qualify to go for the worlds,
Yeah.
I can't sleep the night before. I wake up, I just walk around, I listen to this ridiculous music, I get all friggin' jacked up, I take pre-workout, I'm all fired up, and I just have this routine, right? It's a huge moment. It's like when you're preparing and training for something really hard and you get to that do or die moment. I mean, that's big time. So for you guys, what's it like leading up to that world championship? Especially now, I'm sure you got the target on your back. You're in that, like you said, the quote unquote bubble. People know you. So there's even more pressure as you win. The pressure gets greater and greater to keep winning. So what's it like for you guys leading up to, World Tournament Day?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty like the night before. He always like sleeps over, so we're always like together throwing the night before. Getting as much throws in as we can, and basically we just relax. And I mean, I remember when you were super young, there was a night where we like laid up. It was the year we lost in the finals. We were upstairs in my living room, and we were up till like 2 a.m. and we had to get up at like 7:30. We just could not fall asleep. We were like talking about like the whole tournament the next day. We were like fantasizing about like making it to the championship, and then we did, which was pretty funny. But yeah,
Cool.
I mean, every year is just like, it's definitely when you wake up in the morning, like it's the easiest day to get up for me. Like I get right up, shower, like I want to get there like 45 minutes beforehand, practice, warm up, do all that.
What's the drawing like? I know you said they do random drawings. Are you there to witness it? Like, is it like a dramatic, like a draft? You know what I mean? Like the draft ball lottery? Or is it you just walk up and see your name on a chart and you're like, okay, we got, team 1, 2, and 3 here. Let's go.
Right. Eric actually hosts a draft party every year. So we go and watch. He pulls names out of a hat. So basically what he does is like there'll be the top 4 teams from the past year will be in its own separate pile. And then they'll have all the playoff teams from the previous year in another hat.
Okay.
And then all the random teams in another hat. So first you pick all the random teams, like the first year teams that no one's ever seen before, take them. Then one by one, go through the playoff teams in each one at a time. And then the top 4 will be random drawing to the divisions.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. So they really try to evenly distribute the talent. It sounds like.
Yes.
That's really cool.
He just started that a few years back, because before that, I mean, you'd have like before that, the 2013 when we made it to the finals and lost in the finals, we lost to a team called Team Domination. The very next year, we were in the same division as them.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
And they took us out in the playoffs again. But like, we literally played them in the World Finals. Next year, we're in the same exact division.
And if you think of the inverse of that too, you could have, a team that kind of sucks, like a brand new team that's playing other teams that suck, and then all of a sudden, they meet you or Eric or Team Domination in the championship, and you're like, you beat them in 30 seconds, and it's like, okay. Well, I guess it may be good for you. I don't know. So what? So you were talking about like in North Tonawanda, you have the indoor, right? You said there's like an indoor championship.
Yeah, that's usually in April, but this year I think it's November, as of now.
Yeah,
November, which because of the COVID.
Right. I heard about that. I heard that's a thing. So when you go to you show up on game day or match day, what do you call it? Tournament day?
Game day.
Game day, baby.
Game day, baby.
Do you guys wear eye black? You should wear eye black. I would wear eye black.
Yeah. We actually just Savage Apparel, who partnered with Can Jam last year, who Eric set us up with. They sponsored the top 8 teams. They all got on their own jersey. So I'm gonna grab my jersey. Hold on.
Oh, please do. That's really cool. So when you say Charles, when you were saying the top 8 teams, does that mean placed top 8 at the Worlds last year? Is that what you're saying?
Eric set it up with them so that he picked a top 8 teams from the past few years, kind of an average.
So consistent teams, the teams he knows are going to be there. Okay, gotcha.
Right.
So this is our jersey from last year by Savage. Savage Apparel also works with
Oh, that's sick.
Ultimate Frisbee and Spike Ball. So they do with all that.
Spike Ball's another sport that I'm going to have on here. I don't know shit about Spike Ball. So it's a whole other world.
Spike Ball's so fun.
Do you guys play that then too? Are you going to be world champs in that?
Well, I always joke around. I've been playing cornhole a lot this summer. And
nice.
I'm not too bad at it. So, I mean, hey, if I can win a cornhole world championship and a Can Jam world championship, I think that'd be pretty cool.
You know what? I'm gonna put the challenge out to you right now, and when you do this, I want all the credit. All right. What I think you should do is there should be a thing like the Triple Crown, right?
Yeah.
So you win Spike Ball, Can Jam, and cornhole. Boom, and you're gonna be the first ones to do it, and you're gonna be telling people that you came up with this idea from Goldsmith on the podcast. Lock it in. Yeah. That's gonna happen.
All right.
But for those of you who are just listening on the podcast, the jersey, and can you hold that up again? It's legit. I mean, it's a pretty sweet jersey. Young Guns, their name on the front with the Can Jam and the Can Jam logo on the arm, and then
all the years we played.
Okay, so I was going to ask you that. So it's all the years that you've played in the tournament, right? They should do they should put the 2017 and 19 in gold or something like that, to indicate that you won.
That's actually what we requested that, but they just I think they probably just forgot or something.
They ignored you. That's nice.
Yeah, they didn't ignore us. I think they just probably forgot to put it on there. But I mean, there's always next year. We'll see.
You're going to have to start to get taller or something like that if you're going to keep playing. I mean, those numbers are just going to keep going, right? Those years are going to be adding up in the back.
or we'll just shrink the text.
Shrink the text or make it a dress, make a statement.
Yeah,
like
AJ's tall enough already.
Yeah, I could tell just by you sitting there, you're tall. So is that an advantage in Can Jam? Is that something?
I can tip. I got a wingspan, so I can really tip anything I have a bigger radius than most people.
That's awesome. I can imagine that helps. How often would you say that you are, for me, well, not, and obviously I'm just, some dope in a backyard hammered most of the time playing Can Jam. But if half the time I'm flopping, I'm running all over the place. I'm standing there in the athletic stance, and as soon as the Frisbee leaves my friend's hand, I'm in a full sprint. You know what I mean? How often are you guys doing something like something like how often are you tipping it? And if you're tipping it, I'm sure it's just like a degree off, and you just got to put your hand out and like tap it. You know what I mean? Is that how often does that happen? How often do you?
I mean, oh well, you have to tip it every throw because they throw it and you got to tip it in, like no matter what. Like,
I mean, like the 1-pointer. I mean.
Oh, the 1-pointer. So,
Yeah.
like, say you're at, I mean, if you miss a tip on accident, which is, like, frustrating, but if you miss one, then that's a point. So that happens, like, once in a while. And then say you're on, like, 20 or 19. Those ones are hard to get because you're so used to throwing, like, threes. So, like, it kind of gets in your head when you're, like, stepping up and you get to that, like, 19 or 20.
I need a 1.
Yeah, I need a 1. And you're like, oh, geez. Like, you think it'd be easy, but it's really, like, honestly, like I'm more confident throwing a perfect game than hitting all ones for 21 throws,
Because if you're at 20 points and, Charles, you loft it and, you go to hit the 1 and you slam it in, you're going back to 17 then, right?
Yes. Yeah. You go over and then say I hit the ground and it bounces and hits the can, that's nothing either. So it's hard.
Yeah, I bet. So it's like
we've had a couple instances. One year we needed a 1. AJ threw it. I would never be able to do it again if I tried. It was like it was a tough throw. It was really windy. It was real low to the ground, and I just whaled it as hard as I could to try to get the 1. It bent the can and went in. And I was like, and we ended up losing that game. And then another one was it was actually in the Elite 8 of the World Championships a couple years ago. We needed 1 point, and AJ threw a high. It was a high throw. I jumped up to get it, and I hit it, and it hit the can in the ground like simultaneously. So like I called it 1, like because there is refs there.
Okay. But yeah, that's gonna be my question. Yeah.
Like majority of it is like
no refs. Yeah, it's your word.
It's your word, and your opponent's
until
word.
You're down to like 18,
right.
Then you got 4 games.
So I mean. Me and my opponent both agreed it was 1. The opponent even said, "I'll give it to you. That was 1." The ref came across the whole yard, the whole lawn, and said it hit the ground, and we lost by a point.
That seems like the opposite of the spirit of the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it doesn't. It seems like why? Why would that guy have to do that?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said. Normally, it's just. Man versus man, word versus word, and like we both, me and my opponent, just agreed that I got it, and then
that's you got 2 more, so two championships after this, so whatever.
Yeah, if there was refs like consistently throughout it, it'd be cool. Like I'd honestly be okay with like a ref, like, but there's so many games, so it's hard for
Right, it's just there's frisbees flying all over the place. And,
you can't get a ref for every single game, so that's kind of why it's like whatever.
So, and something, Charles, you just brought up, I had a question about when you said, it's basically just man versus man, and it's kind of the honor system. How many girls play the sport? Is there different divisions? Is it mixed? You know what I mean? Because I know you've mentioned Eric and you've mentioned a bunch of guys. Are there any girls in the sport, or is that something that just kind of hasn't happened yet, or how's that?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few girls that play the sport. There's a lot of very good girls. I mean, me and AJ have lost to girls before. I mean, a lot of them are super good. Don't get me wrong. We actually played at a father and daughter in the Final Four one year.
That's cool.
That's really cool. It's actually Eric's wife and her father.
And they met at Can Jam.
Yeah.
Like he proposed to her at Can Jam tournament. Like they had a Can Jam wedding. Like they were throwing mini frisbee. It was it was super cool.
Good God. You must have been like, when you saw her, it's like, oh God, really? We got to play her now.
Yeah. I mean, her and we played her and Eric in this charity tournament, and they took us to 7 games, and we ended up winning, but him and his wife took us to 7 games.
There's some good girls that play. Definitely.
That's so cool. And that's like what I'm, just kind of my wheels spinning as you talk about this. I mean, you're talking, you two are cousins. You got father, daughter, you got husband, wife, you got, there's just brothers, so many cool. Yeah. That seems like it's unique to Can Jam, I mean, any other kind of, couple sports, but for this uniquely, I feel it's a cool opportunity for you to play with someone who you're close with or related to or you love, to kind of strengthen that bond. I mean, even these are memories that you two talking about when you were younger, staying up till 2 a.m, tossing the frisbee around. I mean, you guys, hopefully you'll be 120 years old talking about like, I remember when we were 15 and, the game. That's really cool. I love the whole idea of this. And for anyone, so let me, I want you to address the haters right now. Someone who's watching this or someone who's listening to this is going to, go on Bing. And I use Bing. I don't use Google. I'm a Bing guy. I don't even know if you know what Bing is. It's a search engine. But either way, neither here nor there. They're going to go on the internet and they're going to look up Can Jam and be like, I can do this. World champion. That doesn't mean anything. What would you tell those people?
Bring it on.
I love that.
No, it's funny. Like everywhere we go, like all of our friends, like when we post something about Can Jam or something, they'll all comment on it. Oh, too bad I would beat you. Too bad I would beat you. And they all talk and talk. And then we finally play them. It's like 21-4. Like
that's awesome. And especially, I always tell about my friends down here too. Is my friends, they'll give me a compliment. They'll be like, "Yo, that podcast was cool," or nice race. I'm happy for it. Whatever. And me being from Buffalo, I'm like, wait a minute. My friends are supposed to roast me and be mean to me. Like, that's what my friends So I can only imagine, being a Can Jam world champion in Buffalo where it was invented, all the people that are like, that's easy. I could do that. I mean, when you go, do you get sick of it? Do you, like, if you go to a Bills tailgate, for instance, and it's there, you got to be the center of attention, right? Like, people have got to be like, yo, we're playing you right now. We're going to beat you, right? Like, that has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times I'll either be with him or I'll be with another friend, and I'll even play with my friend. Like, a couple of my friends are like awful at the game, and like we'll still beat guys that are pretty decent because I'm good. So
right. You can always depend on the three from you, right?
Right. And the guys will always come up to me and be like, "Dude, you didn't miss a throw," or "Dude, you didn't miss a tip," and then I tell them what I do, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Like,
that's crazy. Awesome. I mean, I was telling people about you guys coming on the podcast, and they were really excited to listen to your story and learn about the sport. And AJ, I got to mention. So when I posted about you guys coming on, right away, Kim Vona, now Tomazik, I think it's like that.
Tomazik
immediately commented, "Hey, I know him," and then. Right away, I messaged her, and I know you mentioned that she'd be a good guest on the show, and we actually got her on. She's coming on. I think it's next Tuesday. We have her scheduled for. So, just to give an example to those who don't know anything about Western New York or Buffalo specifically, it is like the biggest little city in the world. I mean, it is. Everyone knows someone. Everyone's got a connection to. It's like the. What's it? The 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. That's like, it's like Buffalo, So the story is I reached out to AJ just blindly through Instagram because I found him through the Can Jam website. And then as soon as I reached out to him and kind of told him what I was doing, he asked me if I knew this girl named Kim Vona, formerly Kim Vona, now Kim Tomazik, but she was the Buffalo Runner of the Year. And she's just an incredible runner. And I had planned on reaching out to her. I had crossed paths with her in the racing scene in Buffalo. So that's just, Buffalo in a nutshell. So
yeah, she's incredible. She probably ran past my house when I was growing up like 5 times a day.
Oh, she's ridiculous.
She just keeps going. I'm like, oh my God.
I actually saw her running by that weekend.
Yeah. And I'll tell her, I'm going to tell her on the podcast too, but she was actually a major inspiration for me because when I first got into running, I pictured, runners to be these tall, lanky, I'm like, I'm this, short Italian guy, I'm 5'7", like Mario. And I was like, I'm not a runner, but then I see Kim Vona just friggin' smashing it, winning the corporate challenge and stuff. And I'm like, oh God, well, now that's cool. I know that short people are good at this sport, so I'm in,
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I think I've heard all the great stuff, right? You've won championships. You've had some really cool experiences, stories growing up. I want to hear your most embarrassing loss. Who did you lose to where you were like, oh my God, there's no way that we just lost to this team? I see you smiling. I know you guys have a story.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, there's been a couple. I mean, the worst, I don't think like the most embarrassing per se, but like maybe the most heartbreaking loss I can remember was it 2014? Yeah, it was 2012, the year after our first year. We were playing a team from Detroit, Michigan in the playoffs.
They were good. They don't play anymore, but they were
a really good team. Yeah. So we were playing them. This was the first round of playoffs. It was the second round of playoffs, best of 5.
Okay.
It was 2-2, game 5. We were beating them by a lot. It was the super windy day, just awful. We were destroying them. Guy throws it. Sky's up way high in the sky, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Drops straight down, goes right in the slot.
Come on.
My heart fell into my stomach. I just started crying because it was the worst.
Oh my God! So that's
I'm not kidding. Like, it was probably 8 feet up in the air, and I'm like, oh yeah, keep going, and then it just drops right in the slot.
And that's game. There's no redemption. Like, that's
game
just
over.
The game ends
game
right
over.
there. Boom, over.
And they ended up winning that tournament.
And they ended up winning the world championship.
Oh my God! Well, in a sport, in any sport, let alone a tournament style sport like that, I mean, there's always going to be a little luck involved, you know.
Yeah. I don't really think we've had like everyone we've lost to. Like, I respect. Like, I don't have like a team where I'm like they're so bad. Like, how we lose to these guys? Like, all the teams I'm thinking of in my head right now, they've all done well. There's not really a team where I can say like
there's never been a first round playoff exit or anything like that where you just got stunned and you're like, oh.
Yeah, there's been actually last year we lost to I don't know who it was, but we lost like a game to them, and I'm like, what are we doing? But like that was just a game. We had to win the series 4-1.
Guys from Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. They're from Tennessee, and they weren't bad, but they were anywhere near our level. Yeah,
that's so cool that you got players from teams from all over the country coming up to Buffalo and playing that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's just crazy because all the guys, like those Tennessee kids and like a bunch of other guys from out of state, like it'd be their first time, and they're like, "Dude, this is so awesome! I'm coming back every year." Like, they love it.
That's great. And that's great for the city too. You know, you can see the potential. You know, you could see it eventually. Probably, what if they did it on the at the Bill Stadium or. You know what I mean? Like, the draw.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That would be so cool. And I think it'd even be a bigger draw. I think the sky's the limit for this kind of stuff for sure.
Absolutely.
So you show up on game day or match day, game day, right? That's what we said.
Game day.
Game day. Game day. You show up on game day for the tournament, and it's downpouring and it's raining sideways, and the wind is howling. What happens? Do you play?
Oh yeah. Yes, the year we won, right?
2017 was
2017 was the mud year.
No, yeah, it was the rain mud year.
Yeah, rain mud year. So it poured for like 30 minutes and it just soaked everything. So like everyone was just like we were in mud up to our knees. Yeah, just playing. Like,
holy cow.
But yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, you play through any conditions really, unless it's like thunder and lightning. But
right. So it's basically like football rules. It doesn't matter what the weather is.
You're in, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a year that was super windy. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds. That was the year we lost to Schlotzsky's.
Yeah.
The wind.
The cans are just blowing everywhere.
Oh yeah. They actually had to reduce it from 21 to 15 in the regular season because games were just taking way too long because it was so windy. You'd throw the frisbee, and then the next thing you know, it's 30 feet in the air going the other direction.
Do you like a little wind? Because obviously if you got wind at your back, well, the other person's got wind in their face, or you know what I mean? Like, do you throw? Do either of you have a preference? Like, do any of you or either of you throw better when there's a little wind or no wind? Or,
I mean, I actually prefer wind. I mean, I think me and AJ have an advantage in the wind. I mean, I'm a really strong thrower, and AJ's a really strong tipper. So I mean, like, it works. It's a good combo. And in the wind, I mean, a lot of teams are super, super good indoors, but then you go outdoors and they can't throw. They're not. They can't throw into the.
It's just so hard. I mean, even me, I struggle in the wind because it's just so hard. It's so hard to throw frisbees.
And those can jam frisbees those are legit frisbees. I mean, those are pretty tough. So.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Like I said, I prefer a little bit of wind. I like the wind. I like it's challenging. 2, it makes it more dramatic and skill. I mean, it's a lot of skill. If you can throw in the wind, that's good. I mean, you're good. So.
Do you guys practice you go to an indoor facility and you just crank up some fans, and just have your mom spraying you with a hose or something, getting ready for the element?
So yeah, no.
I mean, AJ lives right on Lake Erie, so I mean, it's always windy here.
Oh
Always.
God, yeah, that's wind tunnel down there, man.
Mickey Rats and Turtle Joe's are about 2 minutes away,
Nice.
which is the beaches right by me. Where
Yeah,
everyone goes.
I was trying to explain to someone the other day about the beaches in Buffalo. They're like, "Wait a minute, there's beaches in Buffalo?" And I was like, "When you go over the border to Southern Ontario, that's like the Florida of Canada. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
welcome to Crystal Beach. You know, and it's like, well, guys, I mean, we've been talking for over an hour, and I don't want to take up any more of your time because it's Friday. You guys are young. I know you're gonna go live it up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But let me, do you have anything else you want to add to anyone who's thinking about getting into the sport or anything we didn't cover that you'd like to get out there into the ethos? What, go ahead.
I mean, yeah. Anyone that's listening, if you never played the game before, go out, buy a set, take it out in your backyard, find a partner, find a friend, your parents, brother, sister, anybody, and just start throwing a frisbee around. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, like me and AJ, it all started. We just AJ got a set for Christmas. We loved playing, loved throwing a frisbee around, and you just play and play and play, and you'll get good. So,
AJ, anything to add?
Yeah, we could. I'm just saying, like, Can Jam, we need people. So, like, we need more people. We were really bummed about Richmond not happening this year, but I'm excited for next year. I think we're going to do the same thing. Next year, there's even, like, this year, they were talking about a before party, like, the night before. And, like,
the after party.
Yeah, Saturday morning, like, breakfast and, like warm up time. And then after the tournament, after party. So, it would have been a whole event. We really bummed not to have. But, yeah, I just want, like, more people. I want more, like I like competition. Like I want as many people, as many great teams as possible, just to make, like, if you get that victory, then it's just that much more sweeter. So yeah, more people. I just want more people.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy right now. His name's Danny. Danny, if you're listening to this, he's driving. He's helping his girlfriend move from actually Virginia to Texas, and the guy played. He was drafted by the Diamondbacks, played, high level baseball, and the guy is a competitor. And Danny, if you're listening, we're going to do this. We're going to get into this, and we're going to beat these guys. So we'll see you at the next champion.
There you go.
Let's do it.
No, but that's really cool. I think that's a great message. If you want to get into a sport that is not going to be, crazy physically demanding, right? I mean, it's more skill and, something that you want to really turn your attention to. I mean, it's growing, as we've discussed, and there's plenty of opportunities to succeed in it. And it's yours for the taking. If you want to, these are the champions calling you out, people. So let's quench their thirst for more competition, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I just want to shout out canjamleague.com as well. That's the website where you find, like, all the information for the tournaments and stuff. So go on Google, whatever, go to canjamleague.com. You can see whatever the classic, regional tournaments that might start up hopefully soon, and then, like, the World Championship that will hopefully happen next year and all that stuff. So
yeah, and you guys, after we get off here, I'm just going to put all the links in the show notes as well. So if you go to, you'll see it on YouTube, you'll see it on iTunes displays and on Spotify as well, Google Podcasts, all that. All the links will be in the show notes. So when you, if you are listening to this and you want to kind of check stuff out, it's all going to be in there. So just then shoot that over to me, once we're done here. And I put these right up. It takes me about an hour to kind of produce it after the show, and then they go live. So hopefully we get some people joining that Can Jam community. Can Jam fam, baby.
yeah, Can Jam
fam for life.
Can Jam fam. Well, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, it's a Friday, and you could be in a million different places, but hopefully this helps promote your sport a little bit. And it was really interesting learning about your journey and, what you guys have done so far. So, I wish you success, unless you're playing me in a tournament. But no, I wish you guys much success. I'm looking forward to following you guys, your career. And that's basically about it. Have a great weekend. Have fun. And, looking forward to seeing that 2021 championship banner on that shirt, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you for having us, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. As always, it was a pleasure to speak with you guys. And that's about it. So thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll get this up with all the links real soon. All right, have a good one, guys. Thanks.
Yeah,
you
you
later.
too.